We don't need a reason to drive our classic cars, do we? But sometimes it's nice to have one. Classic car shows are great, but if you're a little bit bored of the usual format of turning up, sitting in a field all day in your deck chair, and then going home after being stuck in a massive queue leaving the show, perhaps you might try using your car in anger. If you don't want to step up to doing hill climbs, sprints, or even circuit racing, stage rallying, there's something you can do which means you use the car with a competitive element without actually putting too much stress on it. It's called a classic road rally tour. Now, I'm doing the classic Border Rally, which is organised by Border Motor Club, and it takes place on 80 miles of Lincolnshire roads. It's not a speed event, so we've got everything from old MGTCs to Nissan GTIR Pulsars doing it, and of course, I'm doing it in a brown Clan Crusader. And it's all about the navigation. So you get a road book with tulip diagrams, and it's not too taxing, but you do need a willing and enthusiastic co-driver. I've got my 13-year-old son Mason in the car with me for this one. First rally is a dad and lad team, which will be quite fun. So I'm going to take you on the journey, and I'm going to give you a bit of a flavour about what these classic road rallies are all about, so that if you fancy doing something a little bit different with your classic car, you might consider one. Let's go. We're heading to Elsham Hall near Brigg for the start of the rally, and I'm excited.
Let's go then. 80 miles on Lincolnshire's finest lanes, and the weather's even being nice. Driving gloves to get you lot excited in the comments? Check. The car doesn't have to be rally prepared. My Clan has a few motorsport safety modifications, but apart from those, it's a road car. Don't confuse tour rallies with Targas or 12 cars. You'll definitely need a sump guard for those.
So we've made it to Elsham Hall to the start, okay. We've got our start number, which is 15, but most importantly, big jobs first. We've got our breakfast number, which is number 17. So first things first, we'll get the rally underway very shortly.
Top tip, always pick a rally with a decent breakfast halt. It's important. We're all signed on, and of course everything's electronic at the moment, so it's literally just a box tick. Time to check out the competition. After so long without these events, it's so good to see variety like this, and smiles. Good to see the smiles. Zagato Alphas mixing it with Surfer Beetles, rally-prepared Cortina GTs in the car park, and time-served Rally Volvo Amazons. And what rally would be complete without some Mark II escorts? Not sure how Roger would feel about the yellow. From classic minis to Jensen Heelys, Hillman Imps and kit cars, the start of these rallies doubles up as a classic car show, and hosted at Elsham Hall near Brigg, the atmosphere was electric ahead of the rally getting underway.
We've got our start time of 11:15. Car 15 on the entry. I think that's how they worked that out. So we're just going through the route book. Are you clear on what we're doing first, Mason?
Yes.
So we're using tulip diagrams. So it's the first taste that Mason has had at basic road rally navigation, which I guess is one of the beauties of these events, because you do have a bit of a taste for everything. And you know, people who want to go on and then do a road rally have had a bit of a taste for the navigation, and hopefully the fun and the excitement that goes with navigating your way around one of these route. So we're just waiting for the start now. The first car's off at 11. The course opener, who Blair from Border Motor Club, has headed off into the route apparently. So there's a bit of a buzz, people hanging around, having a coffee, checking out the cars. It's a really good atmosphere. It's exciting. It's kind of rallying without the stress of getting a stage rally car ready to go, I guess.
Time to fire up the Clan and get to the start. And for a quick catch-up with John Savage from Border Motor Club, who usually I work with to organise a round of the Motorsport News Championship at Cadwell Park.
Roll reversal, John.
And just like that, we're off. The clock is ticking, the trip meter is reset. There's no real hurry though. The route is timed at an average of 24 miles per hour. So the focus is on accurate navigation and having fun on great roads. Don't worry about bolting in a Halder Tripmaster either. You can download a very neat, free Rally Trip Meter app. Perfect for keeping track of the navigation and for keeping your teenager off social media. I know I said we wouldn't be chasing each other around the lanes, but the honour of the British motor industry is at stake here. It's Clan versus MG. Sorry, getting carried away.
Should be 11.
This is the first real chance I've had to drive the car properly since buying it, or should I say embarking on the project almost a year ago. As I mentioned earlier, we don't need a reason to drive our classics, but it somehow feels good to have one. Anyway, back to the rally. Along the route are a selection of code boards and manned controls. To ensure you're following the correct route, it's important to note these down correctly. Navigational rallies are won and lost on the details. It's important as well to remember that this isn't a speed event, and when you're taking part, you need to be extra vigilant of other road users. We want people in the countryside to welcome motor clubs with open arms. By the way, how small was that horse? The first half of the rally then took us out into the Lincolnshire wolds, to the outskirts of Louth, home to Cadwell Park, and some of the most talked about driving roads in the UK.
We're just over halfway through. We're pulling up at Control 2, manned by my mate, none other than Steve Johnson. He's going to take a detail of the car. The controls and the passage control boards that you see are designed to, you can see Steve there. Hey Steve, all good?
Yeah, good.
So these guys basically making sure we're on the right route and making sure the cars are where they need to be. So we've done the passage boards. This is a manned control, not many of those because of COVID. And off we go on to the next part of the rally.
I knew some of the best roads in Lincolnshire lay in wait for us, and I wasn't disappointed. The Clan Crusader was at home on the twisty sections with its race car-like handling, and actually surprisingly comfortable cruising on the national speed limit roads. And the mark of a good classic car tour rally is the perfect combination of both. 80 miles sounded a long way, but it flew past. And we kept company with a nice selection of the leading crews on the entry along the way, adding a bit of camaraderie to the adventure. The finish and the end of our first classic rally adventure was in sight.
Well, we've made it back to the finish in Redbourne here at the Red Lion. 2.5 hours, which is a bit quicker than we expected to do the route in. And the route was fabulous, apart from having to treat potholes like chicanes on a national asphalt event, but that's fine. When you drive a Clan Crusader, you have to expect these little things. But that was a real buzz. Some of the lanes were fantastic to drive. In fact, a lot of them were. And the navigation easy to follow. Mason, you had fun with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the mileage distances in between the junctions and the turns were easy to follow and made a lot of sense, and the route was very sensible. I would recommend, if you've got a classic car and you fancy doing something a little different, or perhaps you've done rallying in the past, or in between doing actual stage rallying you fancy doing something a little lighter, this has all the buzz of a stage rally, and it just doesn't have the damaging conditions for the car, or the expense of course of stage rallying. So that is our first classic rally tour done in the Clan Crusader. The car behaved faultlessly. I'm buzzing about that. So yeah, that's the classic border rally done. We're one of the first back here at the finish, so now we'll get to watch some of the other cars in. We've even beaten our entourage, the rest of the family, back to the finish here because they didn't expect us to finish so soon. So if you've joined us on this adventure, thank you firstly. Thank you to all of the marshals and the organisers, because it's not easy to organise events like these. And John Savage was apologising profusely in emails for everything being electronic and no personal contact. But actually, we understand that at the moment, don't we? And I think they've done a marvellous job of that not getting in the way or ruining the experience in any way. So yeah, next week we do it all again with the North Humberside Caves Classic Run. I'll have Neil Howbridge alongside me for that one. But make sure you do go out there and have a go at one of these events, because they are non-damaging. You don't need any special insurance, you don't need any special safety gear or anything like that. In fact, we were following a Morris Minor at one point that was, I think it was 3 or 4 people up in a convertible Morris Minor on these lanes. So it's all about having fun, it's about enjoying your classic cars, and I have to say, I've never enjoyed my Clan Crusader more than I did in the last 2.5 hours, 85 miles. Thank you to Border Motor Club. Hope you enjoyed the journey.